Hi there, I want to welcome you to the Empowering Self and Soul Esteem sessions. I apologize, first of all, for not being here last week. I was down in the south of France, seeing my husband who's working down there at the moment. And we had terrible Wi-Fi. Like, I can't begin to tell you, it wasn't even like it was never going to happen. So I apologize for missing a week, and it's great to be back. So today I want to talk about something going into the weekend that it's kind of deep and it's transformative if you choose to do the work. And I bring this up today because it's what I'm seeing in the news, Johnny Depp, what I'm seeing in so many areas of life right now is the archetype of the truth teller, which is me included. Yeah, I feel it very strongly. And so much is being revealed at the moment, and we're all building courage to tell the truth, to create healthy boundaries, to live the life that we choose to live, and speak our truth and step into living our fullest life, doing what we came here to do. Looking for that, especially after COVID, having spent two years behind closed doors, we've all had time to reflect and think about what is it that we're here for? Why, what is it that I can give? And here's the thing, to live a truly fulfilling life and to be in service of other people is everything. Like, really, this is the opportunity that we have as a human being. The biggest privilege we have over our pets and other life on this planet is that we are given this extraordinary gift to choose. We get to choose whether to do something, whether not to do something, what to say, how to act, how to behave. There is nothing more powerful than that. How we choose to use that and communicate and be, and is our choice, of course, and that's our struggle. However, that's the most extraordinary gift that we have, is the gift of choice. And that's what I want to speak into today, really. I want to speak about these areas of truth-telling, healing, and transformation, and the power that they have, the opportunity that they give us from living a fated life to stepping into our destiny, the life that we absolutely have at our fingertips. It's a creation that we all get to dive into, and it's whether we choose to embrace that and be present with that and get on with that, or whether we choose to just sit back and check out and just let life just go on the road, sit in the boat of life, so to speak, rather than take the oars and paddle in the direction that really serves us best. So, we are, as a human beings right now, it's almost like we're super complex for sure, but it's almost like we're quite divided right now. There are those who don't even see that they're in this kind of checked out, kind of the drift of life. They've no idea even. They just kind of go about their days, dealing with what comes at them, going to work, etc. That's one way of being part of a tribe, perhaps as well, a nation, a group of people, and feel safe within that. Don't want to to individuate, become an independent person. They're safe in that way of being, and that's their choice in this life. That's what they came here to do, and that's cool. It's all good. And then there are those of us who have this kind of like this rumbling going on, that something else out there is waiting for us, that we do have choice, that we get to do something different and find a career that we want, and not necessarily just follow the herd. So how can we like really look at that. What is it that I'm diving into today? So, you know, I've spoken a little bit about archetypes in the past, and what I see today, what is so evident, and what I was given on my plate in my sacred contracts. The reason that I was given an issue to kind of move through and come out the other side in this life, and for me, it was a childhood trauma. For all of us, there's something that's been difficult for us, but this happened to me in my childhood. And you know, we've all been through something in life, and perhaps you had a childhood that was not traumatic. Perhaps it was really easygoing. But I want to talk a little bit about us as children, in that you know, we come into this life with no idea. It's like we totally trust and learn from and absorb everything psychically from our parents. We learn to become independent, but for many years, of course, we are so dependent on them. And we learn to speak, we learn to run, we learn to hide, we learn to not tell the truth because we get into trouble. We learn that one very quickly, and we learn the payoff of that, of course, is that we are loved and accepted. So we realize that works, so we keep doing it. So we tell stories and we kind of work out, get around things. And as we grow and develop, we adapt to survive. I've spoke about this before. We develop ways of being and characteristics that build up our personality ultimately, to really, you know, that they become a part of who we are, and we adapt to survive in ways that as adults we don't necessarily need to do anymore, but we do it because we're very driven by that inner child, which is still within us. It's within us now in adulthood. And, you know, it doesn't serve us always. This is what I'm seeing at the moment, is that there's a certain amount of us that are wanting to tell the truth about things because it feels better. It's what's the word? It is liberating to tell the truth. And when I look back at my childhood, I realized, obviously very early on, as many of us children do, that telling a lie can be for my benefit. And you know, it's a little bit complex, more complex than that, certainly. But what happens is that, you know, those lies build up and build up and build up over time. And I very distinctly have memories of going back and telling the truth about something and feeling, oh, gosh, I don't have to remember that and carry that anymore. And it's like a weight that we carry around with us. Not only that, when we do things or say things and behave in certain ways often enough, they go into our subconscious. So our subconscious is running our lives, and a lot of that subconscious was laid down in our formative years, through our teenage years. You know, we've all got memories of things, of events, things that we've said, that have kind of literally molded us and created us and made us. They're part of who we are today. And I'm not shaming that. I want to move on to this word of shame, because what happens is we carry it as shame. But I'm not shaming that, because the brilliant thing about bringing that into the light, the shadow parts of ourselves that we're not even aware of because they're in our subconscious, when we bring them into the light and tell the truth about them and let go, it's so liberating, it's so freeing. And we then get to step into the new stage of life. So that's what true healing is about. It is about letting go. And it's these are energetic, emotional states that we carry. And healing, when we talk about healing, and I don't want to talk about healing as it's a huge word, and it's an umbrella word, really, because it's affected many of us differently in our lives. You know, I don't think that healing is a word that we should use so lightly as perhaps it is done today. What I'm speaking about really is the fact that not only do we have our individual experiences, we carry the energetic weight of our ancestors in our DNA, not only in our DNA psychically, but patterns, archetypal patterns from the past, literally, that we've been born into our society. It's complex. It's not just about us as an individual carrying this shame and you know, all of the stuff that we've laid down. And I want to speak about this today because we, I think, are perhaps a little bit too hard on ourselves. We blame ourselves. We carry that. It's almost like this generation, certainly my generation, we've all been led to believe there's something wrong with us. And it's just not true. Not when we truly begin to do the work as an individual and really look at our past, not as an individual, but as a generation, as a collective, and what we're actually carrying. And we can start to really look at us as an individual. So we let go of the tribes that we were perhaps born into and start to do the individual work and consciously make decisions going forward about what serves us and what doesn't. And take responsibility, learn to let go, like I said, you know, liberate ourselves, be present, choose wisely. Because as I mentioned, choice is the biggest privilege that we have, that puts us aside from every other living being on this planet. We have choice, we have a mind, we have wisdom. And whilst ever we don't use that, we are staying in living a fated life. So true healing is there for all of us, and that transformation through healing is powerful, and that's where true change begins. And that's the opportunity through choice that each of us have today, every day. And I invite you to really consider this, because when we begin to individuate, when we begin to take responsibility for our life, let go, forgive, come into the present moment, embrace the fact that we are not perfect, in that we will always do things that don't serve us and sabotage us, always, as a human being, as an individual, and be okay with that. But be willing to see that and take responsibility for that, and not ignore that and negate it and believe that we're something superior, or that we're a victim. You know, being a victim and feeling victimized is a choice. And I know that is easy to say and very hard to accept and comprehend when we are seeing things from a specific perspective in life. What I'm inviting people to do through this work is to see things through an archetypal lens, to come up here, truly, to a mystical level, and see what's happening here on Earth, how we're all archetypally, energetically connected, and see that we can elevate our perspective and take ownership of our life. And it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of commitment, but I'm really inviting you to do the work, because it's powerful stuff. And this is where true healing and transformation comes in. So I invite you to think about this over the weekend, and in the description below, I'd like you to go and take a look at the page on my website about doing this work, because it's something that, you know, we can. Here's the thing: it takes a lifetime to really get this, to ingrain, to really absorb and take on board this truth. It's truth about who we are, about the fact that we do have choice. But to do it alone is very, very difficult. It's very difficult because keeping ourselves accountable, is tough. We have these psychic patterns of behavior, cyclical patterns of behavior that are part of our psyche. And unless we really come out of these cycles, it's very, very hard to do it on our own. And, we all have different cycles. So it could be 7 years, it could be 15 years, it could be a whole lifetime before we actually transform through and out the other side. And what the one-to-one mentorship does, which I'm inviting you to go and read about and really look into, is it supports us with having someone there to keep us on track, to keep us accountable to moving forward. And once that momentum begins and we come out the other side and into a new cycle, we're kind of on a good trajectory, and it is a good thing to then take the reins, so to speak, on our own. But to come out of that cycle, especially when we're very connected, we've got many anchors, we're very attached to all of these like I've spoken about, the archetypal patterns. When we're very connected, it's very, very difficult to let go, to even see how held down we are energetically and psychically. So the mentorship helps us with really seeing those parts of ourselves that we're not aware of. There's a lot of work that we do with the inner child, with the shadow sides of who we are, those elements that we don't see. And the mentorship and coaching is not about teaching. It's about giving you the space to really look, to do the work, to figure out, okay, so what are my next steps? Where am I at? What are all the underlying elements that are keeping me bound? What is it that's going on? We look at all of that. And from that place, you can start doing things differently and moving forward. It's super empowering. So I'd love you to look at that, because we today, so many of us, there's a whole, I know that not everyone listening to this is going to hear me to a degree. And we have come into this world at a certain time, whereby those of us who are really hearing what I'm saying, we're empathic. We know that we've come here to do this work. We are perhaps stuck and we want to move forward. And don't get me wrong, this is not something that it's a lifetime. It takes a lifetime and a commitment. But I think many of us are actually realizing that we are empathic souls, and it's time for us to move forward, to do the work, to truly embrace doing the work, so that we can make the most of this life and what we came here to do. And it's this realization that, as I said at the beginning, we have choice. And it's almost like, damn, now I know we have choice. Now I have to do something about it. Once we realize that, it's time to do the work. There's no going back. It's another level of realization it's another level of life. Once we reach that point that the only way is up, it's impossible to go back down, because we know better at this point. It's just, how the heck are we going to move forward? Well, all of the tools that I share, everything is all about really empowering you with this, so that you can move forward in your life. So I invite you to really look at this and dive in, because this is what we came here to do, guys. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this today. It's another little quote from today's meditation, I would say, from Opening Doors Within. So today we are May 13th. Here we go. Cease modeling yourself on anyone else and take time to seek within to find how I have need of you and how you fit perfectly into the whole picture. Never be like a square peg in a round hole, or out of tune and out of rhythm. When you can be yourself, all stress and strain disappear, because you are no longer trying to be something you are not. In fact, you are no longer trying, you just are. In fact, you are no longer trying, you just are. Therefore, you are at perfect peace within, and it is reflected without. Peace, tranquility, and serenity emanate from you. You create the right atmosphere wherever you go. You are a blessing, a help, an uplift for all those souls who cross your path. And you create peace and harmony in the world around you. Now let my peace and love infill and enfold you. Lift up your heart and give eternal thanks that I am revealing the way to you. Isn't that wonderful? And this is, so in here, these are just messages that Eileen Caddy intuited. This is her higher nature. This is the divine speaking through. So now let my peace and love infill and enfold you. Lift up your heart and give eternal thanks that I am revealing the way to you. That is your higher nature speaking through this Empowering Self and Soul Esteem session today to you. This is your little reminder that you have everything that you need, that you have choice in everything that you do. So I hope that helps you this weekend. Take a look at the link in the description. Go and have a look at what Empowering Self and Soul Esteem is all about. The mentorship is all about embracing this life that you have, this amazing gift. And yeah, I hope it helps, truly. Sending you much love for an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.